Hi, Genki Call here with your Soulforge offerings for the week of July 24th, 2023. We are going to jump right into the big news, and that is that the new boss troop is now available. I'll get to the other stuff. Don't worry, we'll get to it. We have the new boss troop. This is the new Zul'Goth, basically. This guy is going to kill an enemy. Boom. Dead. Create 6 curse gems, 6 yellow giant gems, and 6 fairy fire gems. How's this going to work out? I don't know yet, but the yellow giant gems, of course, are going to give you a ton of mana when they blow up. Fairy fire gems, great. Curse gems, great. Especially, yeah, we'll get back to that. But this is brown, yellow, and green gems. They all feed right back into himself, meaning he might be able to loop. I don't know yet since I haven't crafted him yet. He gains 2 life on 4+ gem matches. He is impervious, and he gains 5 to all skill points when matching skulls. Now, this is our new raid boss, which we'll be heading into, in the next couple weeks, I think. And the raid boss version won't be impervious. He will be invulnerable, just like the raid boss Zul'Goth was. He will be invulnerable. But anyway, let's craft this guy. Costs exactly the same amount as in Rage Kurandara. You see? Exactly, well, except for that. Same exact cost as Zul'Goth. How about that? Alright, Ctharrasque. Let's get him. Whee! Now, oh, and he is Hellcrag. Okay, I was wondering what kingdom he was going to be. When I checked last night, I could not see a kingdom, so that is very cool. Hellcrag has a new troop. It counts as a mythic. So if you're mythic blocked in Hellcrag, you don't have to be anymore if you've got the power orbs. Also, remember that you can craft power orbs. If you only have 6 power orbs, you can probably, if you've been saving up your resources, you can probably still craft some. This is what it costs to craft a power orb. So if you don't have what you need, head into the vault, use up your vault stuff, and hopefully you'll be able to craft the power orbs you need if you don't find them. So let's get back to the troops in here. And we are going to start with the legendaries. So Celestasia is okay. Celestasia is going to create 9 gems of chosen allies' mana color, cleanse and give life to them. So it'll be whatever this number is here, +2. It's okay. For legendary, it's not amazing. However, gain a barrier on 4+ gem matches is nice. But it's only for herself, so. Next up, we have Queen Titania, who is amazing. She is the Queen Mab of fire instead of ice. She does damage to all enemies, boosted by red enemies and allies, and if there are 13 or more red gems, she gets an extra turn. Every red ally and every red enemy is going to give you an additional 4 damage to each enemy, and that chance to loop is super nice. Also, Fairy Fire, a random enemy on 4+ gem matches, is fantastic. We love Fairy Fire, and here's what it does. If you don't already know, just pause the video and check it out. Next, we have Tinsel Tail, also a fun troop. I don't generally like this kind of troop, this gimmicky thing where you're going to do this or that, and you don't get to choose what they do. However, it is very useful because no matter what, all allies are going to get 4 magic. And also, you'll have a 50% chance for each of the following. Deal damage to all enemies, explode 8 random gems, and or give all allies life. So, actually, don't mind this particular troop. And it's super cute as well. Also has Fairy Fire, but anytime you match green gems, so you don't even need a match 4. So, but I keep saying so. I'm very tired. My bad. Sorry. I'm sorry if that is annoying. Next up, we have the Guardian Dragon. He's not that great. He does damage to all enemies and gains 5 armor. He's a rather new troop, however. If you're missing this troop from Sword's Edge and you have all of the other things, I can see spending the diamonds on it, but generally speaking, unless you have a troop that you are absolutely dying to use in a team, or you are power level blocked in that kingdom, I generally do not recommend spending 800 diamonds on a legendary. Generally speaking, there are, of course, exceptions. But you know, this guy's really not very good for a legendary, in my opinion. All right, let's get to the mythics. Mythics! Thanos is always here. Tian. Tian is from Shentang. He does heavy splash damage to an enemy. Heavy splash damage is explained right here. And stuns all affected enemies. Deal double damage if my attack is greater. And of course, there are ways to make your attack greater. It's just, he's just not really good on super high level delves or anything where they have a very, very high attack, because it's going to be hard to make your attack higher than theirs. But if your attack is higher, he's pretty good, and he can wreck your day if his attack is higher than yours. He has a 20% chance to dodge skull damage. He has enemy gem masteries, which means less of a chance for them to get the mana surges. And then he also steals 2 magic from the first enemy at the start of every turn. And every magic you get increases this purple number here. Next, we have the Champion of Guard. This guy gains armor, a bunch of armor. If there are 13 or more skulls, you get double that amount of armor, and then create a mix of 22 blue and red gems. So if the board is flooded with skulls, you can cast this guy, get a ton of armor, and then wipe out most of those skulls because you're going to be creating a bunch of new gems on the board. He also has spell damage reduction by 50% and skull damage reduction by 60%. If you've ever fought this guy in PvP, you know how annoying he can be to kill. And the Blessing of Guard is, you know, all red allies gain 1 to all stats at the start of each turn, including himself. And it's everything. It's magic, it's life, it's armor, all the things. Magic, life, armor, and attack. Alright, next up, Zirapochli. Zirapochli. He is here. Wow, that's really pretty. I don't mind that so much. I just wish that they left this part of the cards white. It would be a lot less overwhelming. But anyway, Zirapochli. This one's going to do damage to an enemy boosted by purple gems. If there's a storm, deal double damage, and if the enemy dies, create 12 skulls. You know, he doesn't do that much damage. I mean, even doubling that is just not that great for higher level stuff, in my opinion. He does inflict death mark when doing skull damage, but he has no skull damage reduction and no boost to his armor, so kind of not very safe to put him at the front of the team. He is undying, and he deals 12 damage to a random enemy when matching yellow gems, which makes no sense because he doesn't use yellow. If he used yellow, that would make a lot more sense. Make it green, blue, or purple, and then talk to me. My opinion. Next up, we have Ishtara. I like Ishtara. Hold on, just making sure. Yes, that is everything. Tripwise. So Ishtara, I like her because she can loop. She does damage to all enemies, create 9 yellow gems boosted by blessed allies. If your whole team is blessed, you're going to get an additional 4 yellow gems, and that's all. But she can still loop on this if there's a lot of yellow on the board, and a 50% chance to bless a random ally when my turn begins. Skull damage reduction by 40%. I do like her. I do. Would I craft her? Only if I needed to have a Dragon's Claw mythic. Otherwise, you know, maybe save your diamonds. My opinion. Anyway, I forgot to mention that Ctharrasque is permanent in the Soulforge. Like Enrage, Kurandara, all of these are permanent in here. There are a few other things as well. But let's look at the weapons now. Let's see, we've got the Frost Sword. This is one of the cheap 75 diamond ones. This will do damage to the first enemy, triple damage if they use red. What color does it use? And it uses blue mana, okay? No, that's from my talent. Yeah, and it'll freeze the first enemy when you cast as well. Next up, we have the Ocean's Protector. This will eliminate all armor from an enemy, gain life equal to the armor eliminated, which is can be a huge amount in some, high level raid boss invasion, delving, whatever it may be that's super high level, and then submerge all allies, which is great when you're fighting AoE for sure. As long as you're not fighting Macaw, it's great. Next, we have the Captain's Cutlass. This is going to deal damage to an enemy boosted by rogue allies. You need to be using Corsair class to be a rogue yourself. Then create a mix of 6 blue and red gems for each rogue ally. If you've done any of the world event yet, or the Underspire, you know there are plenty of troops that use that blue and red, so this is going to be a good choice. It uses purple and brown. It does not feed back into itself, but it will feed other troops that you've got. Next is another 75 diamond one, the Flintlock of Blackhawk. This removes all blue gems, does damage to an enemy, boosted by gems removed. The enemy is from Blackhawk, or the battles in Blackhawk deal double damage. It looks like it will also submerge you when you cast it. Yeah, and it's cheap. I absolutely recommend crafting at least one of the 75 diamond um, weapons every time we go to a kingdom, if you can afford it, because getting weapon blocked is the worst. It's terrible because it is the hardest counter to you going up your power levels. And I'll try to remember to add a video at the end explaining that in case you don't know my stance on that. So, more information for you if you're interested. Next is the Pirate's Signet. And this does damage to an enemy boosted by Blackhawk allies, again with the blue and red gems. This is Blackhawk specific. I personally would recommend, if you're trying to choose between the two, go for the one that that is for rogue allies, because that will work. I mean, it's not locked to one kingdom. It's all rogues, not just Blackhawk. So, and it uses the same colors. So, my personal opinion is that the other one is more useful. Wand of Stars is always going to be here from now on. Trick and Treat, it seems, is always going to be here. And lastly, yes, lastly we have Rose's Pistol, another 75 damage one. This one does true damage to an enemy, and if Bonnie Rose is on my team, you get 40 gold. So, nice. Yeah, I guess that is it for the Soulforge. I feel like I'm forgetting to tell you something, but I already told you about Ctharrasque. And yeah, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments down below. Love to hear your input on stuff. Have a wonderful day or night wherever you may be, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye!